One of the things that we talked about in it, as I have a conversation about the idea of community schools, and I was actually in a school district in Florida, and someone asked me, "Have you ever worked in a community school?" And I was like, I think I know what you mean, but I don't. I'm not really sure what you mean. And then we had a really interesting conversation about it, and I said, basically, every school is a community school in some context. But I know you wanted to talk about this a little bit and what that means to you and kind of what are some of your insights through that process. Because the one of the things in Forward Together is that I'm like, school is not just central to the community, it is the community. Like there is a community, whether it's a good or bad one, it is a community. So what are some of your insights on that idea of community schools that you wanted to share with people as they go into a brand new school year?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree that, we take this idea that is so central to how we learn and how we function as communities and think about how we want that to look. And so when you wrote about community schools, I loved how you just framed it like, isn't what you just said, isn't that the way that all schools should be?
Mhm.
And we think it should, but in reality, that's not the way that all schools are. And so, community schools in a lot of states, there's an initiative around community schools. There's a lot of funding, there's a lot of professional development, a lot of policy even around community
Mhm.
schools. But if we don't go about it in a way that brings people together,
Right.
that helps them understand the collective goals, in a lot of places, communities in California, I live in California, a lot of spaces, community schools have been wraparound services where we're integrating health and wellness. We're doing a lot of things outside of the classroom. But my view is if we don't functionally change what happens for kids for 6 hours a day while they're sitting in our classrooms to make them feel like they belong, to make them feel like they're doing work that matters. All of the things we do after school and around it aren't going to functionally change a lot for kids. So, community schools shouldn't just be about adding more, it
Right.
should be about redesigning that to focus on the community, the people, bringing people in business, bringing people, families, other community organizations into the school and help kids go out into the community themselves.
Yeah, and that is actually like the whole kind of premise of the book is that how do people see themselves as part of this larger whole to make sure that, our kids are not just like preparing for the real world, but making the real world better.